Welcome everyone to the first episode of Cornbread on YouTube, and we're going to get things going with an episode on conference realignment. Obviously, it's quite literally the rage in college football, and we're just going to dive on into it. It is August 5th, if you're tuning in. Pretty much the first, we're finished with this wave of realignment, as in like it's the dust is kind of all settled, but let's get into it. The major talking points we're going to go over here, the Pac-12, the Big 12, and the future of college football. So pretty much everything. So to start off, you got the Pac-12. Obviously it's down to 4 teams now, and the sole issue of what arose all the way back when is the lack of ability to get a TV deal. That's what it comes down to. They are finally trying to fizzle out something with Apple TV, but when it comes down to it, the commissioners couldn't find a TV deal. And obviously last summer we got the announcement that USC and UCLA were headed in 2024. And then this just past week, Colorado, Arizona, Utah, and ASU all followed suit. They headed to the Big 12, and Oregon and Washington, the most recent, are headed to the Big 10. So basically that leaves Washington State, Oregon State, Cal, and Stanford. 2 really smart schools, and then 2 state schools that, frankly, it's kind of sad they got left out. But the options for the Pac-12, they can poach some teams out of the Mountain West, and they can hope to combine the Mountain West and the Pac-12 and maybe call it the Pac-West, or they can try to revitalize the Pac-12 with those teams and see what happens from there. Or simply the leftover teams either go independent or they join the Mountain West. It's kind of a depressing outcome, as in like they didn't get scooped up by a major Power 4 conference, but it is what it is, and those programs really just have to take a step forward. The fans have to take a pill of realization that they're no longer going to be in a power conference. And last thing on the Pac-12 is everyone enjoy it. There's one final year of true Pac-12 football. One final year of Pac-12 after dark. I'm getting a little emotional talking about it right now. Screw you guys who couldn't figure out a TV deal. It's an entertaining conference, and it was entertaining fans, entertaining stadiums, and we're gonna lose some of that. We're gonna lose rivalries, the Apple Cup. We're gonna lose the Civil War, if you can still call it that. It's sad, but it is what it is. So, but there is one final year, and we'll make sure it's a good one. Up next, the Big 12. Obviously, the Big 12 is just remnants of conference realignment. Way back when A&M, Colorado, Nebraska, Missouri all dipped. They all dipped. So, if anything, the Big 12 is a victim. They're a victim. They're not. Right now, they seem to be a villain, but they were a victim. Obviously, Texas and OU, they announced way back when, headed to the SEC. And this created a sense of urgency within the board of directors, within the commissioner, to add some teams. And that's exactly what happened. BYU, Cincy, Houston, and UCF all added super great pickups, untapped media markets for the Big 12, and everyone thought that was going to be it. And then just this past week, Colorado, boom, Deion Sanders, the show, everything headed back to the Big 12. Makes sense. Pretty much never found success in the Pac-12. They're gonna be right at home. U of A, Arizona. They're a Pac-12 team through and through, but newfound money, and ASU followed suit, and Utah got lucky enough to secure a bid, and they're also headed. For the Big 12, they're solidified themselves as a power conference. They really don't have to worry about anything. Sure, they're gonna have less money on the media deals, but other than that, they set themselves up for success for decades to come. So in the future of college football in general, The big news, the big flash of, on the media, all over the media, is that the ACC could possibly disband, I should say, teams want out or teams are unhappy. This started back in spring, and there was some rumblings of a Duke UNC to the Big Ten, Virginia to the Big Ten. It was more off the basketball season, but now it's more off of Florida State and Clemson wanting out and wanting more money, wanting a secure place in a power conference. That's going to take a lot of money. They have to buy out of their media rights deal, which is set to till 2036. So if they can do that, I mean, best wishes to them. I think they might. I hope they find a conference. I hope they find a home. But if the ACC disbands completely, which I don't think is very likely, you would see maybe some more minor conferences pop up. Maybe the Big East becomes a thing again. Besides that, you'd see a bigger American possibly and some teams chipped off. But no, there's that. But honestly, the future is 3 power conferences. That's what everyone's saying, more of an NFL style. And that's if the ACC somehow implodes. And that would be the Big Ten, Big 12, and SEC. Would I want to see this? I don't think so. That would completely cut out the regional aspect of college football. It'd be like the NFL. The teams in your conference, you wouldn't even see all the teams in your conference within like a 4-year span. That's the direction we could be possibly headed for. The time zones it's just, I mean, as much as people want to laugh and say 9 a.m. isn't early on the West Coast, for the players having to adjust, it's early. For the coaches, and this isn't just football. This is across all sports. This is across Olympic sports, track, softball, basketball. You've got everything to think about, and I think it's a little overshadowed by the fact that college football is starting up and that most of the money is coming from college football. It's the lack of awareness for these other sports, and some players have tweeted out. Made some noise, frankly, that they're unhappy, especially in the Pac-12, that they're gonna have to travel so far, and their families aren't gonna watch them play, and it's a little bit of an issue, that scheduling conflicts they're gonna have to face, mostly in the Big Ten. Big 12 is still somewhat regional. You've got West Virginia, and then you got Utah. And that's probably like 2,000 miles, and I say that lightly, but it's shorter than what Washington and New Jersey is. But frankly, I mean, the big story is just money. It's if you liked the old college football of the regions and rivalries and tradition, you lost it because of money. That's exactly what happened, and it's going to continue to happen. If you like the new style of watching good teams play good teams week in and week out, then the new college football is for you. Can we say there's going to be success in that new model? I'm not sure, because they still have a lot to figure out, and there's still a lot to happen. But thus far, that's what we know. That's what we've had. And I will be breaking down any future happenings. And this is the officially the official first episode of Cornbread on YouTube. Cornbread episode numero uno. So thank you guys for watching, and stay informed.